Ever wonder if you're a rascal or if ADHD's to blame? You can't censor yourself like we've censored this song. Your focus in life is a crying shame. Am I a rascal or just ADHD? It's hard to know which one it could be. But don't you worry, 'cause we'll figure it out together on this podcast, no doubt.
Hey guys, did that play for you? Because it didn't play for me. I'm trying to be fancy and do I was trying to be fancy and do Twitch at the same time, but it's really hard. Sorry I'm late. I don't really have an excuse, but let me know if that played, because otherwise I'm going to try it again. It did play. Okay, cool. Awesome. Let's put this disclaimer up. Okay. Now I need to find the document. So basically, we were away for the weekend. Let me say hello first. Hi, Steve. You were very early. Thank you for your patience. Hey, Lisa, and hey, Britta. We were away for the weekend, and we got home. We had every intention to go grocery shopping and get everything for the week. And then Vaughan had a nap, and I was just watching stuff next to him. And then I was like, oh, I could actually nap too. And then I had one of those naps, like I used to have them after school, where it was just like I fell way too fast asleep and essentially like woke up thinking it was a whole other week. And it was dark and I was so confused. So that was fun. Okay, let me share the screen. And I need to do this one. Do you know what? I'm actually not going to start with this one first. I'm going to start with this one. Okay. Am I the a-hole for asking my coworker to change her use of alarms to manage her ADHD? Also, I don't quite know how to put a disclaimer on Twitch. I'm just going to have to hope that it works. And I also highly doubt anyone's going to watch on Twitch, but I thought I'd give it a shot. I work in a cubicle farm that's pretty open plan. You can hear mostly everything from other cubicles nearby. My 35 female coworker, 30s female, has ADHD. She has shared with me that she has a really hard time keeping track of time, managing her day, and ensuring tasks get done in a timely fashion. As a self-management tool, she sets her phone alarm for everything. It goes off probably 15 to 20 times a day at full volume to remind her to pick up her copies, leave for a meeting, sign into Zoom, eat lunch, check her mailbox, so many things. The alarm is jarring and sometimes she silences it so it goes off again only a few minutes later. I tried wearing noise-cancelling headphones and using a white noise machine, but neither of those prevent me from being startled 15 to 20 times a day. Clients I'm on the phone with have mentioned they hear it too. I politely asked my coworker to either change the alarm sound to something calmer, use headphones connected to her phone, or use a different time management system that doesn't audibly alert everyone nearby. She got extremely angry and said I don't understand how hard her life is with ADHD, and if I did, I'd never make a request like that. She also threatened to go to HR if I bother her again. This response seemed so over the top because usually my interactions with people are calm and kind. I now worry I did something wrong. Reddit, am I the a-hole? I'm going to start off by saying that the is it Ariana Huffington? That's Huffington Post. She actually doesn't use alarms to wake up at all because there was a study that showed that you wake up in fight or flight. And so she decided that it's better for her to not have an alarm and just figure out a different way to wake up. And I kind of feel the same because I get a fright whenever I have an alarm. And it automatically makes me feel stressed out and I can't start the day like that. And I feel like I need to get up and go as fast as I can. But I don't really want to be starting my day in that situation. Like I don't want to be starting on fight or flight. I also just realized I have the wrong description. Hence, I'm now frantically trying to change it on YouTube Studio. So if I am distracted, what difference? I mean, what would be different to a normal thing of mine? It is an ADHD podcast. Like I would naturally, be distracted, right? Just add this thing and add this thing. Playlists. Oh, did I click it? Oh, I did click it. Okay. Hey, Evie. So what's the vote so far? I'm voting. No, let me not tell you yet. If I do a poll. I can't do a poll on Twitch. So if you happen to be on the Twitch one, sorry. Don't quite know what I'm doing there yet. And the last option, everyone sucks here. Okay, the poll is up. Hey, Bug. I feel like my camera is now facing very high up. That's better. Doesn't look like I'm so like chopped off. Okay, reminder to vote in the poll. I can't see how to do a poll on. Nope, can't figure that out. Need to focus on only one thing at a time. In case you missed it, I had one of those naps where you wake up and you think you're like you're on a different planet and everything is weird. So I'm a little like, whoo. It was like I had too much fun today. In summary, Bug, the coworker says that they need alarms for their ADHD so they know when to do things. And their alarms are very jarring and really like jolt the person. And she suggested that the coworker rather use like an alarm that's not so intense or wear headphones. She's wearing noise cancelling headphones. Coworker said that the person complaining doesn't understand ADHD, and if they did, they wouldn't be requesting something like that, and that they'll go to HR. So, I mean, that's like quite an escalation. Oh, I feel like I need to sneeze. Okay, I'm about to close the poll. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 100% of people say she should be more considerate. And I am on the same page. You could make your alarm vibrating or wear headphones or do it through your computer or something else, because the person next to you doesn't need to be like getting a fright all the time. That's not cool. Also, she said they're in like a cubicle setup, which means that the person is right next to her. And that's just not that. You're working around other people. You are being the a-hole. And no, it's not your ADHD. There are ways to remind yourself to do things. That's not that. There's so many ways. If that person was just wearing headphones, the alarm would come through the headphones. Also, my alarm tone is very calm so that it doesn't like give a person a fright. In fact, for a little while, I had like nature sounds as my alarm, but I wouldn't wake up. Okay, next one. I'm going to do the most fun one last. Am I the a-hole for breaking and telling my friend she probably doesn't have ADHD? Just want to make the writing a little bigger. Does it cut off now? No, all good. My friend M self-diagnosed ADHD something like 5 years ago. I told them to speak to their GP and get tested if they really thought they had ADHD. We live in a country with free healthcare, so it wouldn't cost M a dime, just the process. When M said they probably had ADHD, I started as supportive, urged them to talk to an expert and get tested. My SSRIs have changed my life, so if she can get help, she should. However, my friend said it wasn't that big of a deal because it didn't affect them much. Over the last 5 years, they often bring up their ADHD whenever anything vaguely uncomfortable or inconvenient happens. They're almost never late, but the one time they are, sorry, it's my ADHD. The moment they struggle to focus on something, they pull the card. If we, pre-Coco, were at a restaurant with a friend group and M was rudely on her phone, it's because I have ADHD. Last year, I had to talk her out of illegally buying ADHD meds off some uni students selling them for tests. I told her there are various ADHD meds, and even if she does have ADHD, the ones he's selling might not even work. If she felt meds would help, please see a doctor. Over the years, resentment has built up. I have a host of diagnosed Sorry, let's do a warm-up. Yum dum da dee dum dee doo. Me. Let's start that paragraph again. Last year, I had to talk her out of illegally buying ADHD meds off some uni students selling them for tests. I told her there are various ADHD meds, and even if she does have ADHD, the ones he's selling might not even work. If she felt meds would help her, please see a doctor. Over the years, resentment has built up. I have a host of diagnosed mental illness as well as adult diagnosed autism. I went to the doctor because my life was a mess. M is not teaching themselves healthy coping mechanisms through ADHD self-help sites. M is not going to the doctor. M describes her own life as unaffected by the ADHD she claims she has. I shut my mouth because I'm not a professional, and maybe M does have ADHD. I don't know. But now with Coco, M has been going on and on and on about how she obviously has ADHD because staying at home has been so hard for her. I said that has nothing to do with ADHD. I've been working from home since March. The whole country has had multiple lockdowns. We're all leaving home as little as possible and almost never see friends or family. Everyone is tired, struggling to focus, etc. In Coco times, everyone I know has been dealing with the psychological and physiological effects of such low contact and barely leaving the house. She said that wasn't fair because she has ADHD. I said she should probably get an official diagnosis if she's struggling so much, but she said it wasn't that big of a deal. I snapped and said she probably didn't have ADHD and that she still hasn't seen a doctor because she knows he might not diagnose her. She yelled back that she has ADHD and I was being discriminatory. I said she might have ADHD, but we'd never know because she just likes the label and refuses to see the doctor if her life is so impacted. She said some mean-ish about my home life and ended the call. Some friends in our group are saying I was a massive a-hole, but others are thanking me because they've been keeping their mouths shut for years. I'm just looking for a reality check, I guess. Okay. Oh, Evie, I relate to this like crazy. In the past 3 years, I began to realize that a lot of what makes me me is ADHD. This was kind of what fueled the podcast, was like, there is so much stuff that I thought was like a quirk, or like even things that frustrated me, like that I thought were weaknesses, or like things that I just wasn't working hard enough to change, that I realized was ADHD. But then it's like that, it's like at the beginning, you're like hyper focus on all the things that are ADHD related. And then you kind of have to tone it back and figure out what still sticks and what doesn't. ADHD and a slight morbid fascination. Okay, let's start a poll. Okay, we're losing punctuation because it takes long to make punctuation happen. While you think and vote, I'm going to just grab a tissue. Let me just hear what I'm playing is decent. Let's do that. Okay, BRB. Okay. So, let me see what the poll's doing. Oh, we've got 33%. Friend is the a-hole. And 66% everyone sucks here. And I think what makes it tricky for me is I don't want there to be this idea of like exclusivity of who has ADHD and who doesn't. Like, it shouldn't be like a club that you want to get into. I don't like that it's become this like quirky thing that is kind of displayed as like, oh, I have trouble focusing and I'm really like quirky and like, it's my ADHD. I don't like that, because it's not sunshine and rainbows all the time. It's actually freaking hard, a lot of it. And the reasons I was diagnosed was because it was hard and I was trying to cope with it without the right mechanisms. The other thing is, I feel like once I was diagnosed and once I'd gone through the process, it felt like I could see it in everyone else. So it was like all of a sudden I was seeing how many other people had the same traits. And that makes sense because, like, birds of a feather, probably hanging out with people who do have it. But then also the flip side of that is feeling like I'm diagnosing everyone with ADHD because they have certain traits. But it's just like that the best thing I can think of is like, do you remember that blue or gold dress saga? once someone said what they saw, then it was kind of more obvious, but you didn't see it until they said that. Or like that, whatever Yanni, that audio thing that was like Yanni or something. Like, you would only have heard the one, but when someone else said, oh, I hear this, then you're like, oh, now I can't unhear that. Like, that's what it feels like for me. Now that I know what the symptoms are, I'm like, oh, you also have these. Just go to the doctor. This is the thing that was frustrating me the most. Like, if it's free and you can do the assessment, just do it. But a lot of people with ADHD will also procrastinate and avoid it because what will that mean if they're diagnosed with it? I nearly lost my job due to the medication shortage. It was very close to a mental breakdown too. Not going to lie, depression got dark. That's the thing. It's not always fun and quirky. Like, my addiction and my impulse control and all of that was not fun. It was not a fun situation. And I just remembered that I still haven't recorded my diagnosis story. Ugh. I'll have to do it at some point, but it's just going to stay there on StreamYard waiting to be recorded for now. Birds of a feather get distracted and never get anything done. That's true too. But it's also nice because then, like, I don't feel like I'm failing if I'm around people who don't get things done. Yanni and Laurel, that's the thing. Couldn't focus on anything, got behind. And also, like, not like, even if you take meds out of the picture, just figuring out that the world is not made for people on the spectrum or with ADHD. Like, even I ranted about this in probably the first podcast I did on this, is like, even just to get like the physical act of getting my meds every month, I have to I have to meet with the doctor, then I have to get the script from them, physically go in and collect the script, and then I have to go physically to the pharmacy and collect it from the pharmacy, and I have to do that every single month. And that is just not an ADHD friendly system. Like, I'm probably not going to remember, it's going to be too late, etc., etc. And it's all just going to fall behind, and I'm going to get stuck, and I'm going to wake up one day and I'm not going to have it. And then also I have to take it before 10 because otherwise I won't sleep. And if I don't sleep, I can't focus. And that whole thing just compounds. Like, it's hard being ADHD in a non-ADHD world. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine being out of the ADHD meds and depression and anxiety meds. Like, I think I mentioned, maybe not last weekend, but the weekend before, I had forgotten to take my anti-anxiety, antidepressants. It's kind of like a dual medication thing. I had forgotten to take them. And some days I think I thought I had taken them, but I hadn't taken them. And man, depression for me is a beast of physical problems. Like, physically, I'm so tired, but I can't sleep at night. I lay awake all night, then I eventually fall asleep when it's like early hours of the morning, then I can't wake up, then I'm like trying to pull myself out of bed. I don't want to do anything. Everything's boring. Can't focus. I get weepy about stupid things. Then I'm frustrated that I'm like weepy, and I'm just like, and then I start thinking of, like, I didn't even know this was problematic, by the way, until I landed up in the clinic. But like, things like, oh, I would love to just like to go into a coma for a little bit, just sleep for a little bit. Like, that's kind of problematic. Maybe like, oh, maybe if I just, like, if I get into a car accident, I have to be in hospital, I could just step away just for a little bit. Like, I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to break. Like, that is a problem. If it weren't for my dogs, I wouldn't be here. And I think that's like part of their, like, even if they aren't therapy dogs, that's part of their therapy, right? And like, animals pick up on it. I have an online prescription delivery service that saved my life, literally, because I would always forget Oh yeah. So I've done that now as well. The tricky thing is, so they don't get delivered to, so first of all, we're in a gated community, so they have to go through security, but they won't just leave it. I have to sign for it because it is a Schedule 6. And like the dumbest thing is that my sleeping tablet, which is the Zolpidem, wait, I think it's like Ambien, basically. Zolpidem verse. Yes, it's Ambien, basically. There's so much damage that can be done with Ambien, like more than what I could do with ADHD meds. But my sleeping tablets I can get delivered. I don't have to get a script every month. It's a 6-month script. And I'm like, how does this make sense? Rather just give me the ADHD meds like that. Like, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, they keep you alive, you keep them alive, but they don't have to be classed as support animals to be support. I think it was pretty much the same with Phoebe. I needed Phoebe more. And like Shane, the one that you guys hardly ever see, the grey one, Frank, he is exceptionally sweet. He's a very panicky little cat. But I read once that there was a guy that broke his leg, and after he broke his leg, he was in bed and he had a cat that lay on his leg and purred where it was hurt and it healed faster. So I had this genius idea, like, well, if my brain is the broken thing right now, why didn't I just lie on Frank? Because he lets me lie on his stomach. So just lie on Frank and let him purr into my head. And he's so patient. He just lies there with my heavy ass head, like leaning on him. In the UK, we have a letterbox in our front door, and if they're too big for the door, then they won't leave it on your doorstep because they're meds. Yeah, because also, like, it's just way too risky if it lands up in the wrong person's hand. Man, this is so frustrating. One Sunday I went out, the whole box had been stolen. The whole letterbox. Oh, bug, keep safe. Yeah, I don't think, like, in the community we're in, I don't think people would steal it. Like, we have, when we moved in, the owners were like, we don't even know where some of these keys are. So we had keys made because we're a little more like paranoid, but they hadn't locked a bunch of stuff for the years they'd lived here. We were like, wow, okay, cool. Nice. Okay, next one. Okay, this will be the second last one, and I'll save any others for the next one because I grabbed so many earlier. Also, those on YouTube, I know that you guys are normally here for court, so it's easier for me to ask. Also, there's literally no one watching on Twitch, but that's fine. Thought I'd give it a shot, see what's happening. Should we go into finish that Judge Fleischer stream after this? I'm going to go have dinner and stuff, but I'll be watching with you, like, in chat. I'll put a little poll. Because I was going to suggest a members only live. However, Sunday night is chores night. Bins have to go out and whatnot. Do you know what doesn't make sense to me? Like, let's just click this, start poll. There are, in an average year, around 200 and 40 million 911 calls made in the US. 240 million. There's 600,000 on average a day. The crime stats are pretty similar to here in a lot of ways. And yet, like, people leave their doors open, they don't lock their cars, they don't have burglar bars, they don't have security gates, they don't have security cameras necessarily. Like, it's so confusing to me because we're all about prevention is better than cure. Like, let's not get into I'm not going to let you get in to our house to see if I need to defend myself. I'm going to draw the line. Okay, well, 100% yes for watching the judge. So, okay, next one. Wait, we haven't done this in a minute. Let's do this because I didn't even hear it the first time. I can find the right ear.
2, 3, 4. Ever wonder if you're a rascal or if ADHD's to blame? You can't censor yourself like we've censored this song. Your focus in life is a crying shame. Am I a rascal or just ADHD? It's hard to know which one it could be. But don't you worry, 'cause we'll figure it out together on this podcast, no doubt.
Okay. Which screen am I supposed to be going to? Am I the a-hole for refusing to allow cousin-in-law and his family to move in when they're about to be homeless? My husband's cousin Chris and his wife Rachel have 3 kids. 13, 5, and 3. We've hung out twice since our daughter, 7.5, was born. We're not close. Rachel has always been rude to me. Before my husband met me, Rachel had a thing for him and tried to date him. He never reciprocated, and then when we became official, Rachel started dating Chris, the cousin. Okay. Oops, that's a bit too big. Chris called asking if they can move in with us as they're homeless. Chris and Rachel missed rent payments and got evicted, and have been couch surfing with their 3 kids for the past month or so. My husband said he would need to talk to me first. My immediate response was no. Husband agreed, although he felt bad. Chris's family had been giving them money to make their rent payments, and instead of paying rent, they used the money for other things. Chris works odd construction jobs and doesn't make much. Rachel claims she can't work because of ADHD. I feel like that should have come with a warning because I think that's going to rile all of us up. One person voted no on Fleischer. So whoever you are, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to just click off. I'll make a new stream, but you're going to have to just not watch. Chris called back. My husband apologized and said we don't have space. Chris tried to say we have 5 bedrooms. My husband clarifies we don't. We have 4, one of which is my office. Chris says he's disappointed and he would have helped us. My husband says I work from home and need the house to be quiet. Chris says he doesn't understand where we get the impression that their kids can't be quiet and he's offended. Rachel says we have the money and a big house to help, but that we would rather see 3 kids end up on the streets because I'm greedy. I snap and tell her that her kids are not my responsibility and I'm not comfortable sharing my home with strangers. It's not our problem that they mismanage their finances and that maybe she shouldn't have gotten her nails done every week and paid their rent instead. She responded that I don't understand how hard they have it because I'm privileged and providing for 3 kids isn't cheap. So I said maybe she should get a job and stop using ADHD as an excuse, and they should have thought of that before having kids, and hung up. Husband's phone starts blowing up with calls from family members. He picks up Chris's dad's call. Paul wants to know why we're unwilling to help. I ask him why he and his wife haven't opened their home, as this is his son and grandkids after all. He says Chris/Rachel and the kids have stayed for a week, but their house is too small and it didn't work out. I told him that we aren't close to them and have no obligation to them, and I suggested he and his wife reopen their home to their son and grandkids. He says they did open their home and now it's our turn. I laughed and hung up. So now my husband's family thinks we're cruel and heartless. We also haven't disclosed that I'm pregnant, which is also a big reason they're anti-vax and I don't want to be exposed. And I'll be going on maternity leave for a year as of January. So we're trying to save up. So am I the asshole? Do we even need a poll for this one? I don't even think we need a poll. Let me just change the Judge Fleischer thing to say, I don't care if Mother Teresa. Okay, what did he say? I don't care. I don't care if Mother Teresa needs a ride to the church. Sorry, I should have thought of the fact that my mic will pick up that clicky, 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 clicky. That was a frustrating one. I want to understand what part of her ADHD makes her unable to work. What exactly could be so? Can she not work a specific job or any job? I shouldn't be doing multiple things at once. But would it be any different? Should I make this for? Let's make it for 21. Let's make it for 9:15 because I have one more to do, and then I can always be late to that stream because I will portal us over. But I need to have it started in order to portal it. This is just me talking through what my brain is saying. And it would be very useful if I would rename things so that I would know what I'm looking for. Create live stream. Okay, now that that's done, I'll just preemptively say no on this one. Couch surfing with 3 kids. Your kids are your responsibility, not mine. Seems like her ADHD is showing as impulsive and reckless spending. And I get that. She's like numbing out with spending. And like, I mean, I still have my nails done because I feel like I feel so much more put together if my nails are done once a month instead of all the time. So I get acrylic. And they're not expensive. I go to someone inexpensive. And when we had to stretch money, then I worked out things with them and whatever. Like I've been going to the same person for ages and sacrifices were made and, that I understand. But like, she surely could have a job that is conducive. Like there are jobs that you can work that even if you have the most severe ADHD, there is something. For kids. Not the a-hole. It's my decision who stays there and who doesn't. If you don't like it, let them stay with you. Exactly. People who don't respect boundaries. Nope. Jason M. Thank you. Don't mind me, just here to boost your engagement. Awesome subject. Keep it up. Thank you. I don't know if you're new here, but I appreciate it. We are heading over to watch a funny judge in court after this. Has nothing to do with ADHD. However, majority of us that hang out and chat have ADHD, and so there's about 25 conversations going on at the same time, and one of them will inevitably match your interests. At least for a bit, probably. Okay, are you ready, guys? Here's the whopper. I have been saving this one and I've been wanting to do this one for so long because this is, as they even say, this might be a doozy. Am I the asshole for taking my roommate's ADHD meds? Okay, this might be a doozy. 1, yes, I asked before I took it. 2, I did not look into the side effects. 3, I do not overcompensate. On what, hun? What are you not overcompensating on? Generally, people who say they're not overcompensating are overcompensating. So what is it that you're overcompensating on? I, 27 male, took my roommate's ADHD medication so that I could focus, get some editing, essentially be productive. I've taken it before and it's very effective. A bit too effective. And this is why the rest of us can't get the freaking meds without a script every single month. It's you. I don't even have to put a judgment on this. I can't get past the first sentence. I feel like I, 27 male, and my wife to be, 29 female, have gone from, oh, it gets even worse, guys. 1, only spending time together when you want sex. We live together. 2, I think your roommate wants to have sex with you. 26 female. Lord, I hope this is a fake one. 3, we're not having enough sex because you keep masturbating rather than having sex. Right. Let's pause there. And look at number 3. I do not overcompensate. I highly doubt the roommate is marginally interested in someone like this. I, 27 male, am a content creator. My focuses are streaming gaming content and editing. That means I spend a lot of time gaming. Okay, I read this next sentence the wrong way, but in my defense, he's led up to this the whole time. Yes, I play with her. I'm introducing her to more games. That's not important though. Today I wanted to get some work done, so I asked my roommate for one of her meds. Questionable idea, I know. Hear me out. I have a problem with concentrating. Then get him effing diagnosis. So I figured taking something would help. Guys, I don't know if I'm going to make it through this. For the sake of my sanity. If any of you want to join, maybe. Oh, I don't want that going to Twitch. How do I delete it off Twitch? No. I don't know how to delete a Twitch message. I'm just quickly trying to find mod view. Okay. Oh, well. It is what it is, I guess. It's now shared to Twitch, so we're just going to have to deal with it because I don't know how to do it. Thankfully, I don't think anyone's watching on Twitch. Right. Let's do this. I have a problem concentrating, so I figured taking something would help. Problem is, I don't know that the meds act similarly to that of Adderall. I've taken it before and was up for 24 plus hours. If you're taking the meds and they're having such a massive effect on you, it means you probably do not have ADHD. I'm trying to be objective here, and I'm trying to be like as impartial as I can be, and on the bright side, it was the most productive I'd ever been. Today, the wife-to-be, 29, female, wants to have sex. I had already taken the meds. My roommate, 26, female, is having her second sexual partner of the week. He seems like a cool dude. My roommate goes into their room with their suitor. The lady and I make it to ours. We can hear them going at it, and it kind of sounds like that thin line between rough sex and DV. I'm trying to get down, and I notice I can't keep an erection for more than 2 minutes. I'm pissed. She's disappointed. After some thought, I came to the conclusion that all the blood is going to my head and stay. The lady is disappointed. I feel like a massive a-hole for not considering the possibility of a perpetually soft penis as the cost of productivity. Am I the a-hole for taking the meds? Bonus points, our rooms are definitely next to each other and my roommate is not quiet. I'm just trying to see if I can find the original because people surely had to ask questions. Surely. Did they delete the post? Is it gone? Maybe I saved it. That that really got me annoyed. Okay. So I think it goes without saying that they were voted undoubtedly an asshole. No, not even like there's no two ways about it. They've archived the post. And they're trying to defend their actions in the comments, including, let's see. I'm not currently high. I started to vent. I'm not going to lie. This is my second post ever on Reddit, and I guess it all came out at once. No filter or organization scheme. First thing that's actually come out of you that day. My biggest concern is the way my life affects those closest to me right now. I feel like I'm effing it up. It may just be in my head. Did not belong to me, was not prescribed to me. What if I can't get a prescription because I'm having a hard time getting an ADHD diagnosis taken seriously? I mean, I know you said people have it really hard getting what they need when they actually need it. I could understand why you'd assume. I'm not exactly privy to sharing the information that would bridge that gap. But because you said that, it seems necessary to let it be known that I've sought counseling from a therapist that told me to my face they aren't sure that I have ADHD despite what I tell them. So this person does not have ADHD, but they are convinced they do. And because the therapist wouldn't affirm that, they are offended. But when they take the meds are too much. I'm glad you think I only took it to get high because that, as shitty as it is a lot better than saying my thoughts are attacking me. I can't focus, desperately want to get out of my head. That might be OCD. It might not be ADHD. She's annoyed because we didn't have sex. That part is least visible. It's everything up to this point on top that's confusing me. It might just be because I talk oddly. I realize I wrote this like some weird dissertation outline of the events withstanding. It's all over the place. I feel all over the place trying to understand each individual thing after the other. So they stream on Twitch. Man. I'm on a high dose which lasts 4 hours until it wears off, not 24 hours. Hey, Chini. I'm on the highest dose of Vyvanse, and it's supposed to last 8 hours, and it lasts, I would say, good focus, about 6. When I was on Ritalin, which was supposed to be 4 hours, it was lasting 2 hours. So then I moved to Vyvanse because I was going to have to take 4 Ritalin a day, and I'm only 5'2" and I weigh under 50 kgs. So I shouldn't be processing it that fast, but that's just how it is. And it is freaking dangerous, but also it's people like them that are abusing these prescription meds that make it hard for those of us that need it, to get these meds without having to jump through a bajillion loops first. Like, don't take meds that aren't yours. So, resounding asshole there. So much so I even said the word, and I'll take the hit if YouTube blocks it. There's one that lasts 16 hours. Can't remember the name. I take it for fatigue. It might be like Concerto or Vyvanse or one of those. But like for it to last 24 hours in your system is a very easy way to know it's not for you. It's not for you. And you can tell yourself you have trouble focusing all you want, and that it's too. Why is it saying the stream quality is low? Sorry if it like jumps a bit, it might be because of that. So frustrating. So frustrating. Not the stream quality, just someone taking ADHD meds when they really shouldn't. So not fair on the rest of us. Okay, now I need to remember where I found that customization thing so that I can redirect to myself. Oh, guys, I can't remember now. This is a little confusing. Customization. Found it. Redirect. Add. Why does my podcast have no thumbnail? That's weird. It's by Penton. I'll Google it. Might be under a different name here. Oh, it's methylphenidate. It's Ritalin or Concerta, either or. It can be slow release, could be 16 hours, but did not last 16 hours for me. Not at all. Like, I might not sleep if I take it too late, but I process meds so fast. This is also why you have to go to a doctor, because your dose, like, Vaughn is significantly taller than me, weighs more than me, etc. I take higher doses than he does because my body metabolizes it faster. And I do get the sneaky suspicion, Evie has a good point, there's a lot of things that make you lose focus. Probably listening to your roommate having bang bang time could be a factor. I suspect that it's not his girlfriend saying the roommate wants to hook up with him. I think he wants to hook up with the roommate and he's projecting. It doesn't for me either, but mental health doctor told me that for some it stops working after a while. For me, I couldn't get to a decent dose of, so that's the one I was going up to 4 tablets, but then it's a case of, if you take the quick release, it's like you go up and then you crash, and then you go up and then you crash. And that seemed to be playing into my anxiety, because the quick up was like my brain was like, anxious. And then with the slow release version of it, I was just having heart palpitations all the time. So then I moved to Vyvanse because Vyvanse has a better release system of sorts. I'm just lazy. Does at all cure that? If you're not supposed to have it, no. Because then you're going to land up probably hospitalized and with a multitude of chemical imbalances that are going to make you more lazy and more sleepy. I'm not even joking. There was someone in the clinic with me that had been taking ADHD meds without a prescription and messed them up so badly that they had to be admitted because they had just like zero energy levels. Their chemicals in their brain was so messed up. They had to go through like hectic like detox things and whatever. No, thank you. It is very hard on the heart. It's very, very hard on the heart. I have to have an ECG every 6 months just to make sure. I used to have Concerta and then methylphenidate 5 milligrams in the afternoon. That was going to, if Vyvanse didn't work for me, that was what we were going to try. But we were trying to avoid that that up of the Ritalin. So it is a little dangerous for someone like me that likes to take things to the extreme. Like, oh, I'm struggling today. Maybe I'll just take another one. And then all of a sudden I'm short. And it's like, oh, maybe tomorrow I'll just take 4 and see how it goes. Okay, guys, I'm going to end this because we're almost at an hour exactly. And the more of these episodes I do, the more I come to realize that an ADHD podcast being an hour is probably not the best idea because how many of us can focus for an hour? Now I need to understand how I end on Twitch. Oh, well. I will see you guys on the other side of the portal. If you don't want to watch court, it's okay. You can leave the stream. I promise I will not hold it against you.